What's the most casual way someone saved your life? A kid pulled me out of rapids when I was drowning, then just shrugged and went back to tubing with his family like he'd picked up a dropped phone instead of saving someone's life. I was 12, and my family had planned this tubing trip down the Guadalupe River. It was supposed to be a relaxing float, gentle current, shallow water, perfect for kids. What nobody mentioned were the rapids about halfway through. My dad had rented these cheap tubes that were basically oversized pool floats. Stay close together, he kept saying, but the current was stronger than expected, and our little convoy started spreading out. When we hit the first set of rapids, I thought it was fun. The tube bounced and spun, and I was laughing as the water splashed over me. Then we hit the second set, and everything went wrong. My tube flipped. 1 second, I was sitting on top. The next, I was underwater with the tube floating away from me. The current was way stronger than I'd expected, and I couldn't touch bottom. I tried to swim after my tube, but the rapids kept pulling me under. Every time I surfaced, I'd get maybe half a breath before another wave hit me. I could see my family way ahead, not realizing I'd fallen off. Panic hit when I realized I couldn't keep my head above water. The current was dragging me towards some rocks, and I was swallowing more water than air. My arms felt like concrete, and I couldn't call out loud enough for anyone to hear. That's when this kid appeared next to me in the water. He looked maybe 13 or 14, and he just materialized like he'd been swimming next to me the whole time. No dramatic rescue dive, no shouting. He just grabbed my arm and started pulling me toward the bank. "You're okay," he said like we were having a casual conversation. "Just kick a little, I got you." He was completely calm. While I was panicking and choking on river water, this kid was treating it like a swimming lesson. He got me to the shallow water near the shore, where I could finally stand up and breathe. I was coughing up water and shaking, trying to thank him, but before I could even form words, he was already wading back toward the middle of the river. "Your family's up there," he pointed downstream. "You can walk along the bank and catch up." Then he swam back to his tube, which had been floating nearby the whole time, and climbed back on like absolutely nothing had happened. I stood there in the shallows, still trying to process that I'd almost drowned, and watched this kid paddle back to his family's group. When he reached them, I heard his mom ask, "Where did you go?" "Just helped someone out," he said, and that was it. No big explanation, no drama. Just helped someone out, like he'd given directions to a lost tourist. His family continued floating downstream, and within minutes they were around the bend and gone. I never even got his name. I walked along the bank until I found my family, who were just starting to realize I wasn't with them. My dad was in full panic mode, ready to call search and rescue, when I showed up soaking wet and explaining what happened. "Some kid saved me," I kept saying, but it sounded surreal even to me. The whole thing probably lasted 5 minutes, but it felt like an hour. This stranger had pulled me out of a situation where I genuinely thought I might die, and to him it was apparently so routine, he didn't even mention it to his parents. For weeks afterward, I kept thinking about how casual he was. No heroic speeches, no checking if I was really okay, no waiting around for thanks. He saw someone in trouble, fixed the problem, and went back to his day. I've been in plenty of situations since then where people help each other out, but there's usually some acknowledgement that something significant happened. This kid treated saving my life like returning a borrowed pencil. 20 years later, I still think about that sometimes when I see news stories about heroes who save people and then disappear. I wonder if that's just some people's default setting. See problem, solve problem, move on. I never got to thank him properly, and I doubt he even remembers it, but I remember everything about those 5 minutes, especially how he made saving someone's life look like the most natural thing in the world.